if you want to do Superman with the mustache, I think we'd really be onto something. But, you know, I doubt that's probably not going to happen.
Bit of sad news to begin, and that is the death of Leslie Jordan.
Yes.
How
such a
devastating.
Sweetheart.
Yeah, so did you ever meet him? Did you ever know him?
We had lunch once when I was working at the Advocate. It's so nice. And like, my Facebook feed yesterday was not only filled with tributes to Leslie Jordan, but like photos of people I know with Leslie Jordan, like so accessible, and like would show up for like, you know, your book reading or your play thing, whatever. But like, yeah, it's so funny, so talented. And, and such a shock. I mean, because it was a car accident. He apparently had like a heart attack or something while he was driving. And, but yeah, he was a great one.
Just an unmistakable presence and voice. And I think maybe folks who didn't know of his work got to know him during the pandemic because he would do these little videos and brought such sunshine to everyone's day. Like, and it seems so genuine, just that sweet drawl and that disposition that just radiated kindness. And who could not use more of that during the last couple of years? So yeah, and I guess they've halted production on the sitcom he's been working on.
Yes. But yeah, and I think I want to say one of the last things that I saw him in was he's in one of the fake Hallmark posters in Bros. I think for Miracle on 34th Street with one gay guy. I think he's the gay guy in that.
That is perfect. That's good. Anyway, so he was 67 years old, Leslie Jordan. Box office, Black Adam was number one. It made $67 million over the weekend, which is, I guess, about what they expected for this opening. But I think the real story here is Ticket to Paradise, because it made like 16 million in the US, but globally it has made like 96 million total, which just goes to show how bankable our A-list stars here remain around the world.
Right. Well, I mean, so much so that this movie opened overseas like a good month or so ago. I mean, I had to assign a review for the Wrap out of London because that's where it was opening first. And that was a while ago. So they clearly have been, you know, globetrotting, and I'm sure doing a lot of like different premieres in different countries. But yeah, clearly like Roberts and Clooney are the international language.
Are you going to catch up with this?
At some point, yeah. I mean, like, what's not?
No.
I mean, what's not to like? I mean, it seems like the perfect thing to watch some afternoon, like on cable, obviously. But I'll probably step out to a theater to see it. I like rom-coms.
Let us touch base about Kanye. Let us try to do this without getting too deep into the weeds here, because we would be here for like an hour. But it's been a very eventful week or so for Kanye West, and all of the fallout is now happening because of his horrific anti-Semitic remarks, which he just keeps amplifying, which he's just undaunted. Finally, in the last day, Adidas has dropped him. Balenciaga has dropped him from their fashion collaboration. Anna Wintour says that Vogue will no longer be associated with him. CAA has dropped him. The documentary, this completed documentary about him, the distributor is now saying, we're not putting this out. He is undaunted by all of this. And of course, people on the 405, on an overpass on the 405 at like La Tijera, I want to say it was, with their banners saying Kanye was right. And so it's a horrible story. I hope that this does something to affect his worldview or the way he speaks and uses his platform, but it seems like that's not going to be the case.
I mean, unfortunately, I think we're in an era where everybody just doubles down, you know, and nobody wants to apologize for anything ever, and they just get further and further rooted. And sadly, there is a whole section of the culture that is happy to welcome you to getting further and further rooted. So, you know, yes, he's losing all of this stuff. Is he now suddenly going to be like, I don't know, invited to speak at CPAC or, you know, interviewed on Newsmax all the time? Probably.
Yeah.
You know, his new pal, Candace Owens, I'm sure, is just like delighted with all this. But of course, she just fooled him into buying Parlor off of her husband. So once he realizes that was a bad deal, I'm sure that friendship will be over. But yeah, I mean, this is, you know, we are living in this era of creeping fascism, and it's barely even creeping anymore. Nope. It's running.
It's knocking on the door and saying howdy.
Yeah. And so you've got these assholes on the 405 giving Nazi salutes and hanging their Kanye was right banner. And it's like, you know, once again, we are being forced to relearn all of the lessons of the 20th century. And yeah, I'm glad that people are stepping up and being like, all right, there are sides here, and I'm not going to be on the side with the guy who's talking about, Jewish conspiracies. But tragically, there are ones who are.
Yeah. And also he has been locked out of his Twitter and Instagram accounts. But as you point out, if he's bought Parler, he's got his megaphone,
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, but then, and I think, yes, if you want to ask the question, why didn't this happen to Mel Gibson? Valid question. We should have that conversation sometime too.
Yeah, no, for sure. The Gotham Awards came out today. The nominations rather came out today. Tar leads them all with 5 for picture, Best Actress for Cate Blanchett, supporting nominations for Nina Haas and Nomi Merlan, and then Todd Field for his screenplay.
Okay.
Not for directing. It has the most nominations with 5, and then Everything Everywhere All at Once got 3, After Sun got 3, The Inspection got 3. Your best feature nominees are After Sun, The Cathedral, Dos Estaciones, Everything Everywhere, and Tar. Again, a lot of stuff I have not seen yet. It always feels like you're behind, like, what's that one?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I've heard great things about After Sun. I've heard great things about Dos Estaciones. I think I'm seeing the Elegance Bratton movie. You just said it. It's out of my head. The Inspection, that I'm seeing in the next few days. So yeah, it's catch up time of year.
Yes, we will get to so much of the stuff here for sure. Henry Cavill will indeed be playing Superman again. If you saw Black Adam and you stayed through the credits like you're supposed to, he shows up looking all hunky. So he's back. He confirmed this on his Instagram that he is going to play Superman again. Are you excited about this?
It depends on who's writing and directing. I mean, I think he's terrific. I think I like him as Superman. I think he has the presence for it. If you want to do Superman with the mustache, I think we'd really be onto something. But that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I kind of want to know who else is involved in this production.
There's that, and then along those lines, there's going to be another Star Wars. Are you aware of the secret new Star Wars?
I am now. Apparently, a secret no more. Yeah, Damon Lindelof is behind this one. It's like, okay, I really liked Watchmen and The Leftovers, so I didn't watch Lost, so I'm not mad at him. I'm curious to see how that's going to go.
And the director did a couple of episodes of Ms. Marvel. So that gives me some hope as well, because we love that show so much. Yeah. But it takes place after episode 9, which is so interesting because people hated episode 9. I don't like episode 9 personally, just because it had to be safe and undo all of the daring stuff that Rian Johnson did in episode 8.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, do you depart entirely? Like, how much can you make it your own thing, but still adhere to the stuff that people love? Like, we're loving Andor because it is the least Star Wars thing ever made.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you look at the movies as a series of trilogies, ostensibly they could pick up somewhere else entirely, and it doesn't have to be about, Rey Skywalker or whatever. So, I like to think that they have that entire galaxy to play with, but we'll see what they choose to pick up on.
Yes. The trailer's out for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania.
It's like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm.
Didn't watch it.
I did, but I'm just like, okay, it looks pretty. It's lots of swirly colors. I was watching it with Nick, and I'm like, oh, it looks like Pandora. Like, we just watched Avatar. It just looks like more stuff because you're like really tiny down in the quantum realm. It'll be big, I guess. I like the Ant-Man movies fine,
it would be, it's funny now that you mentioned this. Like, I'm wondering when someone's going to really step up and be like, all right, I want to do a superhero movie with as many practical effects as possible. Like, I want a Fury Road, a superhero movie. And I think that would blow people's minds, because I think we're all getting a little 1 and zeroed out in terms of how these movies all look and what a swirl of nothing they are in terms of like tangible, weighty, just gravity, matter, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think if somebody would want to really step up, spend the money, devote the time to doing a superhero movie that felt like it took place in the tangible material world, I think that could really change the game.
And that's part of the charm of the Ant-Man movies, for me at least, is that it's not like the universe is at stake, right? It's smaller stakes. It's more intimate, personal stakes. It's goofy. It's playful. It's him just being giant at the Embarcadero, you know? So but if they are in the quantum realm, it's all like, pew, pew, pew. Like, does it deviate so vastly from the thing that made this franchise cool? I don't know.
You know, I'm sure if they can keep the character focus and let Paul Rudd like charm his way through it, then I'm sure that will go a long way into sort of anchoring it into some sort of reality.
Yes. Did you read the big Brangelina takeout in Vulture?
I didn't, because there's always that paywall.
Oh, no, this is free. There's a little banner at the bottom saying, this article is free for the time being.
Oh,
so
shoot.
You can read it. Oh, it's excellent. Yeah. Angelica Bastian wrote this really, really great piece. And it will make you reevaluate everything you thought you knew about them as a couple and them as individuals since their breakup. So, of course, the ugly divorce is the time peg for this, but it looks back at them since the beginning. And it's really, really sharp and vivid. And I recommend it highly. So we'll have a link to that down below if you would like
Angelica's
to read that.
Great. She's a terrific writer.
So smart. There's a petition to have Halloween Ends reshot. People who are pissed about Halloween Ends want a reshoot.
This is what fan fiction is for. If you don't like how a movie came out, write your own ending and share it with your friends on the internet. But like, nobody owes you a canon here.
This is not the way art works. If I may reiterate, this is not the way art works. If you don't like it, you don't get a redo.
Exactly.
And then I have a few corrections. I love all you guys so much because you're the best about like watching all the way through and pointing out when we make mistakes in the most loving, kind way possible. So I got a few corrections. Some are on me, some are on you, Alonso. So let's run through them really, really fast.
Okay.
Harrison Ford has played a bad guy before in What Lies Beneath.
Which I never saw, but yes, that is absolutely true.
Which I have seen and forgot. There's that. Apparently, top of the morning is not really a thing people say in Ireland.
Oh, well, I just say because the thing Irish people in movies say. I'm sure it's probably nonsense, but yeah.
I'm just hearing what people say, but no.
I guess good to know, though.
No one says it. It's not a thing. And then apparently I really egregiously mispronounced the name of Colin Farrell's character in Banshees of Inisherin. I'm not going to even try to do it right because when I thought I was doing it right, apparently I was doing it totally wrong. And people have been very helpful in telling me so. So thank you. I'm like
see the
44,
movie. Hear it yourself.
Yes, I'm like 44% Irish. Hence, I don't get tan. You'd think I would be able to figure these things out, but the names are very complicated. So thank you all.
With any language, after the age of 12, your mouth sets, and so it's hard to like start taking on new diphthongs.
I thank you all for watching all the way through and caring. You guys are the best.